they're not actually safer. The women who travel confidently through the world are not protected by some invisible map that the rest of us don't have. They know one rule that most people ignore. And once you know it too, the entire map flips. Here's something nobody tells you about women's safety. We're taught that certain places are safe and certain places are dangerous. Western capitals are treated like safe zones. Unfamiliar countries are treated like warnings. Some cities get romanticized. Others get feared before we ever step foot in them. But real safety does not work like that. A woman can walk through a place everyone told her to fear and feel protected by community, awareness, and clear social boundaries. And that same woman can be followed, targeted, or harassed in a beautiful European city that appears on every safe travel destination list. That is why the old map is broken. Safety is not a location. Safety is a skill set. It is not about memorizing which countries are safe and which ones are dangerous. It is about learning how to read a room, how to move through unfamiliar spaces, how to protect your attention, how to set boundaries without apology, and how to build small layers of protection before you need them. Because the truth is simple. Most threats do not begin with violence. They begin with information. Someone sees that you are distracted. Someone sees that you just arrived. Someone sees that your hands are full, your phone is open, your luggage is loose, your attention is split, and you are trying to be polite even when something feels wrong. That is not a judgment. That is human. Every traveler has been there. You step off a plane after a long flight. You are tired. Your hair is a mess. Your bag feels heavier than it did when you packed it. You are trying to find the rideshare area. Your phone is at 12%. The airport Wi-Fi is barely working. You are looking for signs in a language you do not speak. And in that exact moment, everyone around you knows one thing about you. You just got here. That moment is what I call the vulnerability window. And the way you handle that window can change everything. This is where the 30-second disconnect comes in. The rule is simple. When you arrive somewhere new, before you check your phone, before you message your driver, before you look for your hotel shuttle, before you open your map, before you decide which exit to take, you stop. For 30 seconds. That is it. You move to the side. You get out of the flow of traffic. If possible, you put your back against a wall, a pillar, a counter, or anything solid behind you. You take one breath, then you scan. You identify the exits. You notice where the official desks are. You look for families, staff, security, information counters, other solo women, and populated areas. You notice who is moving with purpose and who is standing still while watching the arrivals area. You notice who seems to be waiting for someone and who seems to be watching everyone. You do not need to stare. You do not need to look scared. You are simply switching your attention back on. 30 seconds. That is all it takes to stop looking like someone who can be easily rushed, confused, pressured, or redirected. Predators do not profile by country. They profile by behavior. They look for distraction. They look for hesitation. They look for someone who is overloaded, polite, and disconnected from her surroundings. The 30-second disconnect interrupts that pattern. It sends a silent message before you ever say a word. I am here. I am aware. I see what is happening around me. And that shift alone can remove you from the category most opportunistic people are looking for. Now, this does not mean you need to become paranoid. It means you need to become present. There is a huge difference. Paranoia says, everyone is dangerous. Presence says, I am paying attention. Paranoia makes travel smaller. Presence makes travel freer. And that is the entire point of this system. Not to make you afraid of the world, but to help you move through it with your head up, your shoulders back, and your instincts online. Because the first layer of safety is awareness. The second layer is boundaries. And that brings us to something most safety advice completely misses. I call it the politeness paradox, Most women are not taught to protect their discomfort. They are taught to explain it away. We are taught to be kind, to smile, to answer questions, to give people the benefit of the doubt, to not make a scene, to not embarrass anyone, to not seem rude, to not overreact. And in normal life, kindness is beautiful. But in a safety situation, forced politeness can become a trap. Predatory people understand this better than almost anyone. They know many women will stay in a conversation 10 seconds longer than they want to. They know many women will hesitate before walking away. They know many women will say, sorry, while trying to escape a situation they never created.
Think about the last time a stranger made you uncomfortable. Did you leave immediately?
Or did you stay for a few more seconds because you did not want to seem mean? That hesitation is the window they are counting on. The solution is not to become cold. The solution is to pre-decide. Before you travel, decide this now. My safety matters more than a stranger's comfort. Say it out loud if you need to. My safety matters more than a stranger's comfort. Because in the moment, when your body is telling you something is off and your social conditioning is telling you to be nice, you need the decision already made. You do not owe a stranger your time. You do not owe a stranger your smile. You do not owe a stranger an explanation. You are allowed to move. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to change seats. You are allowed to leave the line. You are allowed to turn around. You are allowed to walk into a hotel lobby, a cafe, a shop, or a crowded area just because something felt wrong. You do not need to prove danger before you respond to discomfort. That sentence is important. You do not need to prove danger before you respond to discomfort. Your instincts do not always speak in full sentences. Sometimes they speak as tension in your chest. Sometimes they speak as a sudden urge to leave. Sometimes they speak as the feeling that someone is too close, too interested, too helpful, too persistent, or too offended by your boundaries. Listen earlier. Leave earlier. The safest moment to exit a bad situation is usually before it becomes obvious to everyone else. And if you struggle with this, I want you to practice simple phrases before you travel, not complicated speeches, not long explanations. Short, clear sentences.
No, thank you.
I don't need help. Step back. I'm not interested.
Please move. I'm leaving now.
And if someone continues after that, you do not need to keep negotiating. You move toward people. You move toward light. You move toward staff. You move toward witnesses. This is where preparation becomes powerful. And if you want a complete system for this, I've linked the Empowered Bundle in the description. It includes the Safety Blueprint and Confident Connection, two guides that work together beautifully for solo travelers. One helps you build the practical safety framework, awareness, travel planning, red flags, and prevention. The other helps with boundaries, confidence, communication, and reading people more clearly before you trust them too quickly. If you are someone who freezes, over-explains, or second-guesses yourself, those two books are a strong place to start. Now, let's make this practical. You arrive at an airport. You do the 30-second disconnect. Now what? Airports are strange environments because almost everyone is slightly disoriented. People are tired. People are late. People are looking at signs. People are searching for baggage, bathrooms, ride shares, SIM cards, currency exchange, gates, and exits. That creates chaos. And chaos creates opportunity. So your goal is not to move through the airport quickly. Your goal is to move through it cleanly. Rule 1. Secure your bags before you need to. Do not wait until you are in a crowd to realize your backpack zippers are open. Long zipper pulls on backpacks can be clipped together with a small carabiner, a twist tie, or a mini lock. It is not about making your bag impossible to open. It is about adding friction. Most opportunistic theft happens fast. 2 seconds. A hand slips into a front pocket. A zipper opens while you are looking at a screen. A wallet disappears during a rush. You do not need perfect security. You need enough friction that you are not the easiest option in the room. Rule 2. Your phone is both your lifeline and your biggest vulnerability. Every time you stand in the middle of a terminal staring at your phone, you are broadcasting that you do not know where you are going. So, prepare before you arrive. Screenshot your boarding pass. Screenshot your hotel address. Screenshot the terminal map. Screenshot the route from the airport to your accommodation. Screenshot the name of your driver or transfer company. Save important addresses offline. Write down your hotel address on paper because phones die, batteries fail, and Wi-Fi is not a safety plan. When you need to check your phone, step to the side. Put your back to something solid. Check quickly. Then put it away. Do not walk through an arrivals hall with your phone in one hand, passport in the other, and your bag half open. That is not travel. That is a billboard. Rule 3. Be careful with unsolicited help. Most people who offer help are kind. Some are not. The difference is pressure. A safe person allows you to decline. A manipulative person pushes past your no. If someone offers to carry your luggage, guide you to a taxi, help you buy a ticket, or take you somewhere cheaper, pause. Look for official signage. Look for uniformed staff. Walk to an information desk. Ask them to wait while you verify. A legitimate airport employee will not be offended if you double-check. Someone who gets irritated, rushed, insulted, or aggressive because you want to verify them has already given you your answer. Rule 4. Never let confusion force you into speed. This is one of the biggest mistakes travelers make. They feel confused, so they rush. They feel lost, so they grab the first option. They feel embarrassed, so they pretend they know what they are doing. Do the opposite. Slow down. A confident traveler does not need to move fast. A confident traveler knows she is allowed to stop, scan, verify, and then move. Now, let's talk about trains and buses. This is where the rules change because, unlike airports, access is less controlled. Anyone can be on that platform. Anyone can board that bus. Anyone can stand near you while you are trying to figure out your ticket. So your strategy is simple: visibility, mobility, and control of your belongings. On a bus, if you are traveling alone, choose an aisle seat when possible. An aisle seat gives you mobility. It means you are not pinned against a window by someone who sits too close. It gives you the ability to stand up, change seats, or move toward the driver. If the bus is mostly empty and someone chooses the seat directly beside you without a reason, you do not need to be polite about it. Move. You can pretend you need to stretch. You can say nothing.
You can change seats. You can get closer to the driver.
You can get off and wait for the next bus if something feels seriously wrong. Your comfort is enough information. On a train, avoid empty carriages when you are alone, especially at night. A packed carriage can be stressful, but an empty carriage can be isolating. Look for the middle ground. A carriage with other passengers, ideally a mix of people, women, families, older travelers, commuters. You are not looking for friendship. You are looking for witnesses. Keep your bag where you can feel it. Not loose on the floor. Not out of sight above you if it contains valuables. Not hanging open behind your chair. Your day bag should stay on your lap or between your feet with a strap looped around your leg or arm. Your passport, phone, cards, and emergency cash should not be in an outside pocket while you sleep. If you are taking a long-haul night bus or overnight train, use a small cable lock to attach your bag to something fixed, a seat leg, a luggage bar, a rack support. It weighs almost nothing, and it buys you peace of mind. Again, the goal is friction. You are not trying to create a fortress. You are making it inconvenient for someone to choose you. And before you sleep, set yourself up properly. Keep your most important items close to your body. Use a slim pouch, a money belt, or an inside pocket. Do not sleep with your phone loose in your hand. Do not leave your passport in a jacket pocket. Do not assume you will wake up if someone moves your bag. Travel fatigue is real. Build systems for the version of yourself who is tired, not just the version of yourself who is alert. Now, there is one part of travel safety that people do not talk about enough: the first arrival at your accommodation. Hotels, hostels, guest houses, apartments, villas. It does not matter. The arrival moment matters. When you check in, do not let your room number become public information. If someone at reception says your room number out loud and there are people nearby, ask politely for a different room, or ask them to write it down instead. When you walk to your room for the first time, stay aware of who is behind you. Do not be so focused on the key card that you forget to notice your hallway. Once inside, check the basics before you unpack. Does the door close fully? Does the lock work? Is there a latch, a deadbolt, or a chain? Is there a peephole? Does the balcony door lock? Are there connecting doors to another room? If there is a connecting door, check that it is locked. If you travel often, a portable door wedge or travel door lock can add another layer of security while you are inside. It is small, light, and useful, especially in places where the lock quality is uncertain. And here is a rule I want you to remember. You do not open your door just because someone knocks. If you did not order room service, if you did not request housekeeping, if you did not call maintenance, you verify before opening. Call the front desk. Ask, "Did you send someone to my room?"
If the answer is no, do not open the door.
If the person outside is legitimate, they can wait. Safety rarely requires urgency from strangers. Manipulation often does. Now let's talk about ferries and cruise ships. Because ships create a very specific illusion. They feel safe because they are contained. You are surrounded by staff, passengers, restaurants, entertainment, lights, music, drinks, and vacation energy. It feels like a floating hotel. But the same thing that makes a ship feel safe can also create risk. You are in a contained space. You cannot simply leave. People drink more than usual. Social boundaries relax, and isolated areas can exist just a few steps away from crowded ones. So if you are traveling by ferry, cruise ship, or overnight boat, your safety plan needs to include isolation management. First, learn the layout early. Do not wait until midnight to figure out how to get from your cabin to the elevators, stairs, reception, medical center, or emergency area. Walk the route during the day. Know where the medical center is. Know where guest services is. Know how to reach your cabin without relying only on signs or your phone. If there is a safety drill, do not mentally skip it. Know your muster station. Know the manual route from your room to the emergency area. In a real emergency, people panic. Lights can fail. Digital signs may not be enough. Your own memory is part of your safety system. Second, be mindful of outer decks at night. A dark deck with engine noise, wind, alcohol, and low visibility is not the same as a busy indoor lounge. Do not walk isolated exterior decks alone late at night just because the ship feels contained. Contained does not mean supervised. Third, use check-ins. The buddy system on a ship is not about being dependent. It is about accountability. Choose one person who knows where you are going and when you should be back. That could be a friend, a family member, someone in your group, or even a trusted contact on land if you are traveling alone and have service. If you say, "I'll message you when I'm back in my cabin," then message. Do not treat check-ins as dramatic. They are not dramatic. They are practical. Now, we need to talk about the moment everyone is curious about, but very few people actually practice. Physical self-defense. First, understand this clearly. Self-defense is not about winning a fight. It is not about proving strength. It is not about dominance. It is not about staying to teach someone a lesson. The goal is 5 seconds and an exit. 5 seconds to create distance. 5 seconds to get free. 5 seconds to run toward people, light, noise, staff, traffic, or any place where you are harder to isolate. That is the whole goal. And before anything physical happens, your best tools are your posture, your voice, and your distance. If someone moves into your space, bring your hands up to chest level with your palms facing outward. To everyone watching, this looks like a clear boundary. To your body, it creates a protective position. Then use your voice. Not a whisper, not a nervous laugh, not, "Sorry, can you maybe—" Clear commands. Stop. Back up. Do not touch me. Move away. Your voice does two things. It tells the person you are not going to be quiet, and it tells everyone nearby that something is happening. Many predators rely on silence. Break it. If someone ignores your words and physically grabs you, your goal is not to wrestle. Your goal is to break contact and leave. This is why real self-defense training matters. Because watching a video can give you information, but your body needs repetition. Under stress, you do not rise to the level of your intentions. You fall to the level of your practice. That is why I've linked the Safety Vault in the description. It is a home training program designed to help you practice simple, effective self-defense movements with proper form, so your body knows what to do before your brain has to negotiate with fear. If you have ever worried that you would freeze or that you would not know when you are allowed to respond, this kind of practice is incredibly valuable. And remember this: you are allowed to defend yourself. You are allowed to create space. You are allowed to leave. You are not being dramatic. You are not being rude. You are not overreacting. You are leaving. Now let's add another layer. Technology. Your awareness is your first line of defense. Your boundaries are your second. Your physical skills are your emergency backup. But modern travel gives us another option: discrete safety tools. And this matters because your phone is not always available. Sometimes it is in your bag. Sometimes it is dead. Sometimes you do not want to pull it out because it may attract attention. Sometimes you are in a situation where unlocking your phone, opening an app, and making a call is too obvious. This is where discrete safety accessories can help. Bracelets, necklaces, keychains, fitness-style bands, even scrunchies. To everyone else, they look like normal, everyday accessories. But, depending on the device, they can be connected to your phone and used to send a silent SOS alert to chosen contacts, often with your location. They are not magic. They do not replace awareness. They do not replace boundaries. They do not replace judgment. But they give you another way to signal for help when your phone is not in your hand. And that is the whole point of a safety system. Redundancy. One layer can fail, so you build several. You tell someone where you are staying. You screenshot your route. You keep emergency contacts accessible. You carry backup cache. You use the 30-second disconnect. You trust your discomfort. You practice saying no. You learn how to create distance. And if you want an extra silent backup, you use a safety bracelet, necklace, keychain, or discreet wearable that can alert people if something goes wrong. I've linked the safety accessories I recommend in the description, including bracelets, necklaces, and other discreet options that fit naturally into a travel wardrobe. The best safety tool is the one you will actually wear, so choose something that matches your lifestyle, not something that stays in your suitcase. Now I want to bring all of this together, because this video is not about making you afraid to travel. It is the opposite. Fear says, stay home. Preparation says, go, but go intelligently. Fear makes the world smaller. Preparation gives the world back to you. You do not need to become suspicious of every person you meet. Some of the most beautiful travel moments come from strangers: the woman who helps you find the right bus, the family who points you toward the best local food, the hotel owner who treats you like a daughter, the fellow traveler who becomes a lifelong friend. The goal is not to close yourself off. The goal is to stop outsourcing your safety to luck. Because luck is not a plan. A destination ranking is not a plan. A viral TikTok saying a city is safe is not a plan. A pretty hotel lobby is not a plan. A plan is knowing what you do in the first 30 seconds after you arrive. A plan is knowing how to say no without apologizing. A plan is knowing where your exits are. A plan is knowing where your passport is while you sleep. A plan is knowing how to verify help before accepting it. A plan is having a check-in system. A plan is having tools that still work when you are tired, stressed, distracted, or alone. And once you build that plan, something changes. You stop moving through the world like someone hoping everything goes well. You start moving like someone who knows what to do if it does not. That is confidence. Not the fake kind. Not the kind that says, nothing bad could ever happen. Real confidence says, I am prepared enough to keep living my life. That is what I want for you. I want you to walk through airports without looking lost. I want you to sit on trains with your belongings secure and your instincts awake. I want you to enter hotels knowing what to check before you relax. I want you to enjoy cruises and ferries without assuming a vacation atmosphere replaces boundaries. I want you to say no earlier, leave sooner, trust yourself faster, and travel farther. Because the world is not only risk,
The world is beauty. It is architecture you have never seen. Food you will think about for years. Markets full of color.
streets that wake up at sunset, mountains that make you feel small in the best way, conversations that change how you understand your own life. You deserve those experiences. You do not deserve to shrink your dreams because nobody taught you how to move safely through unfamiliar spaces. So start with the rule. 30 seconds. Every time you arrive somewhere new, disconnect from the screen and reconnect with the room. Scan, orient, choose your next move, then practice the deeper layers. Learn the politeness paradox. Pre-decide that your safety matters more than a stranger's comfort. Use simple boundary phrases until they feel natural. Build your airport routine. Build your train and bus routine. Build your hotel routine. Build your check-in routine. Build your emergency backup. And if you want support, I've linked everything in the description. The Empowered Bundle includes the Safety Blueprint and Confident Connection if you want the complete mindset, boundary, and travel safety system. The Safety Vault is there if you want to train your body, not just your mind. And the discreet safety accessories, the bracelets, necklaces, keychains, and wearable tools, are there if you want a silent backup that fits into your everyday travel style. You do not have to do everything at once. Start with one layer, then add another, then another. That is how safe travelers are built, not through fear, through preparation. If this video helped you, subscribe to the channel. I share practical travel safety content every week for women who want to explore the world with more confidence, more awareness, and more freedom. And before your next trip, download the free solo safety checklist linked in the description. It includes the 10 things I recommend reviewing before you travel, so you are not relying on memory when you are tired, rushed, or already on the road. Travel safe, trust yourself. And remember, safety is not a place on the map.
It is a skill you carry with you.
I'll see you in the next one.